day. But the day of worship that he said in the Bible, what to keep, is Saturday, the seventh day, not Sunday.
1500 of Tibbs, you guys worship on Saturday.
Yeah, every Saturday we there. We there every Saturday. The Sabbath begins Friday sundown and Saturday sundown. That's when the days begin.
I'll come and check y'all out.
You coming to check us out, sis? Give us a call. Give us a call. We want. You know you're an Israelite?
No.
You don't know? What's your nationality? Oh, that's an excellent question. We're going to show you. Come over here and look at this sign, sis. Look at this right here. Look at this sign right here. You know anything about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? Jacob's name was changed to Israel. Our forefather Jacob had 12 sons. Those 12 sons became the forefathers of the 12 tribes of Israel. These are who we descend from. And how we know we those people is by the curses. God gave Moses and told us, give us two options. He said, if you do this, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to bless you. But if you don't do my commandments, I'm going to curse you, meaning I'm going to judge you. That's what he told us after we left out of Egypt in the Exodus underneath Moses. You remember the Exodus, right? Let my people go. This is what God told Moses to tell the children of Israel. Read Deuteronomy 28, verse 1.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 1.
Come on.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day.
Come on.
That the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
You hear that? He said you will be on high above all the other nations in the earth. God took one nation and wanted them to rule the planet Earth with his commandments. Yes.
So, do you think God is punishing me for worshiping on a Sunday than on a Saturday?
Yes.
Even though I still worship?
Even though, because you're not doing it on the day he told you to do it. Remember, at the end of the day, remember that I'm going to show you, because this is the stipulations. He said, if you do my commandments, like I told you to do, I'm going to set you on high above all the other nations. Looking around at blacks and Hispanics, we're not on high above all nations at all. We get oppressed on a daily. This is the recompense of not keeping God's commandments. That was the first verse. Now jump to 28:15. He said this is the flip side. Go ahead.
15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
That what?
That all these curses.
All these what?
Curses.
Read.
Shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
He said, if you don't keep my commandments, I'm going to put curses on you. I'm going to judge you. And that's why we're in the predicament that we're in now, because we did not keep God's commandments. Give me that in 40, a sign, 45.
Verse 46.
Yeah.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
And they is the curses. God said these curses will be upon you for a sign to know who you are. Like I said, this is how we know we're the Israelites. God said these curses will be upon this nation only for a sign, just like you see Philip 66. All the curses that happened to us, that's a sign to let us know we the children of Israel. Read.
And for a wonder.
And for a wonder, because you're going to wonder why blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans be getting jacked up forever. Why did we come over here on cargo slave ships and been oppressed for 400 plus years? You're going to wonder that. You're going to wonder why blacks getting shot down in the street by police all the time. Right. You're going to wonder that. You're going to wonder why come there's not a white Trayvon Martin or a Chinese Trayvon Martin. Right. It's only blacks and Hispanics. It's only us. You're going to wonder, read.
And upon thy seed forever.
For what?
Forever.
Your seed is your children. So generation after generation after generation. So that's why you said, if I worship him and it's not on a Saturday, is God going to still judge me? He said, yes. Because you didn't do the day that he told you to do. Go ahead.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things.
Read.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
Thine who?
Thine enemies.
What the Bible say we have to serve, sis? And what? Read.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
See that? God sent these people against us. There's no coincidence that they came and scooped up people off the west coast of Africa and left some more people there. Right. We still got remnants of our people there, but they took a majority, millions of us from way over there on the east coast of Africa all the way over here. There's no coincidence. God sent those people against us to grab up the rebellious Israelites. Read.
In hunger.
In what?
In hunger.
When you hungry, sis, where you get your food from? All these stores. Do any of our people own these stores? Do you got cattle in your backyard that you can just slaughter and cook your own meat? You got greens or corn or anything growing in your backyard? God said you're going to have to go to your enemies for your food. Read.
And then thirst.
When you thirsty, don't you got to pay a water bill? Do any of our people own any water companies? Any bottled water companies? Our people don't own those?
This is depressing.
I'm gonna brighten your day up though. There's an end all to this. Because we're going through the punishment stage, but our punishment is almost up because now you see us waking back up, teaching the truth. For what you have to do is jump on the bandwagon and believe what God is telling you. Do you believe what the Bible is saying?
Yes.
Do you believe that the prophecy of the Bible turned into history?
Oh yes, I see it now.
You see it? Keep going.
And in nakedness.
Your clothes. When you want to get your clothes, our people might own clothing companies, but they don't own the textiles for the clothes to make the fabrics. That's not us. We got to go to our enemies for that. Read.
And in want of all things.
All things, sis. Birth certificate, death certificate, driver's license, toilet paper, anything you want, you got to go to your enemies for because we broke God's commandments. Read.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Hey, what? You see that? What's that is, sis?
I have no idea, but
It's a yoke of iron. It's a yoke of iron. Read the Bible again.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Until when?
Until he have destroyed thee.
Until he destroyed us mentally. When they so-called freed us, we were mentally destroyed then. We were fully indoctrinated in American society. Yep, out of there. Now we blacks, now we Hispanics, now we African Americans. We don't think we're Israelites no more. They didn't teach us the Bible right. We had the Bible the whole time. They stopped us from reading and writing. And if you got caught reading, they would violently beat you. Violently beat you. So then they taught us a perverted version of the Bible. Now we think the white man wrote the Bible and there's white people in the Bible and God is white, and it has nothing to do with those other nations. The Bible is the history book of the Israelites, records of the Israelites. He said he gonna put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until you are destroyed. Now it's high time we wake back up because we are those destroyed people. God has put his spirit back in the earth to wake his children back up. Get 68. This is the kicker. This is how you know that we're the children of Israel. Remember, this happened to one nation of people. When Moses left, he talked to the Israelites. He told the Israelites, if you do what God tells you to do, you'll rule the planet. Yeah. If you don't do what God tells you to do, guess what? You're going to be oppressed. Oppressed. You're going to die forevermore. Read the Bible.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
You see that? They was in Egypt. They were what? Under Pharaoh.
Yeah.
Slaves. Yeah. So they left out. And God's telling them, I'm going to bring you into Egypt or slavery again. How?
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
Who went into slavery on cargo slave ships, sis? Because they walked out of the promised land. They wouldn't talk about taking a ship back to Egypt where they just walked out of. This is another Egypt, a spiritual Egypt here. God calls this place Sodom and Egypt, spiritual Sodom and spiritual Egypt. It's spiritual Sodom because all the homosexuality and all the fornication that's going on in this land. And it's Egypt because we served hard bondage here, just like we did back in ancient Egypt. God said you're going into slavery again with what?
With ships.
Come on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
Read.
Thou shalt see it no more
You
again.
wouldn't see that slavery back there in ancient Egypt again. We're coming here. Babylon the Great in America. Read.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
There's that word again. Friends don't put friends into slavery. We were sold to our enemies for what?
For bondmen
For slave men
and bondwomen.
and slave women. The black woman was right there with us in slavery. That's why I hate when the black woman says I'm independent and I don't need a black man. We got sold into slavery together.
That's right.
We was on those cargo slave ships together.
That's right.
Not separate.
Yeah, we got to get out of here together. Go ahead.
And no man shall buy you.
And no man shall buy us, because there is a law in the Bible that your brother can redeem you out of slavery. That's not happening. God said, ain't no man going to redeem you out of this slavery. Only Jesus the Christ, the black Messiah. He's the one that's going to redeem us.
That's right.
We had a lot of black leaders. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Stokely Carmichael, Marcus Garvey. All these people tried to stand up for black rights and be black activists, but we still in the conditions we in. Hell, we even had a president for 8 years.
Yeah, because our minds are still in the condition. It's just like taking the Israelites out of Egypt. They cried and said, "Are there not graves in Egypt?" So
It's the mind
where
thing.
our minds are.
Right. Now, here's the flip side. There's a kingdom waiting on us. Christ is coming back. Christ done died. He shed his blood. Now we can repent from the things that we could not repent from.
Right.
Since Christ died, he was the ultimate sacrifice. He came and fulfilled the law of sacrifice.
Yes.
Now we have a chance to repent. Because under Moses, if you would have broke the Sabbath, you would have got put to death. If you was a homosexual under Moses, you would have got put to death. Now, since we're under Christ, we got that grace. We can repent. So since you know that Saturday is the day of worship, you can repent from Sunday and start keeping the Sabbath day holy. You have a chance. The door is open. Christ came and died. Now we have to take this opportunity to really realize and think, is what the Bible's saying true, or is what I've been taught in religion and society true?
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children